Our intention here today is not to try to sell you guys anything. We're not going to sign you up for like a coaching program or anything like that. Our intention is really just to give back to the community, to kind of share with you guys some of the things that I've learned along the way and some of my the panelists have learned along the way, and really just to help you guys as much as we possibly can to try to maybe improve the quality of your life, improve the quality of your finances, maybe improve the quality of your business. There are a few people that I did want to thank today, just because without them, the event wouldn't have been possible. The first one is my wife, who's over there in the corner over there. So a lot of people don't know this, but like in 2015, I was running through some administrative problems where I was having like admins be with me for a year, then leave, and I got tired of that cycle. So my wife was actually a accountant at one of the top 5 accounting firms in the state, and she wasn't even my wife at the time. She was my fiance. And I asked her, I said, is there any way that you would consider leaving your job? We weren't married, and help me in the listing management side and kind of help me with the vision that one day we'll be able to have kids and that you can help with the household as well too. And she didn't even second guess it. She said, yeah, let's do it. So forever grateful for that. I also would like to thank like everybody who took the time to help us set it up. Camila, Carlos, Ricky. We got a guy named Joey who works in car sales who reached out to everybody and confirmed the event. Didn't ask for anything, just came from straight up value. Obviously, we got the girls outside checking everybody in. We got all our EXP partners here, the panelists as well too. I didn't even have to ask them. I just said, hey, are you open to doing this? They said, hey, I don't really like being on panels, but for you, I would do it. So I appreciate, obviously, you guys taking the time to do that. And then also, we have a couple sponsors here in the room. We actually self-funded this within our organization. We have Ricardo Salazar, who contributed to the event. We have Jason Walters. We have Eric Gladish. And we have Sean San Jose as well too. We didn't want to make this like an event where there's all kinds of vendor pitches pitching you this loan program or title or escrow. We basically just wanted to come from a place of contribution and provide nothing but value. So the agenda for today is basically I'm going to do a live listing presentation for you guys. Then there's going to be a panelist. We have Neil Weikel, Lindsay Horn, Jim Sandoval, Eric Delgado. I haven't seen him in the room, so he might show up like 30 minutes late, but I'm sure that he'll be here. And then at the end, my mentor, somebody who's coached me from when I was doing like 20 deals to over 100 now, Aaron Novello. He's going to be doing a keynote speech. He's a big part of everything that we've accomplished. He's coached me on everything from making right decisions as it comes to marriage, personal finances. There's a time 5 years ago when I wanted to buy a Rolls Royce, he dug into my finances. He's like, yo, dude, can't afford it right now. And I was like, all right, like, cool. So there's just a lot of different things that he's kind of done for me. I see my sister here in the audience as well, too. So Marisol, she's here. So good. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of context as to what we're going to be going over today. A lot of times when people look at me, they think that I was like always like this super like successful business person or that had things all figured out from the beginning. This was actually my first real estate picture. It was at Century 21. It was literally behind a piece of drywall. That's drywall in the background. There's not like anything fancy. But I struggled, and I looked at that like as a blessing because I wasn't like this guy that came in and sold their first home like right away. It took me 6 months to actually sell my first property, which I looked at that as a blessing because I know that there was other people that sold their first property right away. They thought this game was going to be really easy. They got really comfortable, had $20,000 in the bank, and they basically took a couple vacations. For me, it wasn't like that. It was the complete opposite. I wasn't a natural. I'm still not a natural at sales. It's something that I've worked hard to accomplish. So this is actually my first YouTube video, just for you guys to see.
Hello everyone, my name is Jose Luis Morales and I'm a realtor with Century 21 Homeland Realtors. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to upload all my information to your database and taking the time to view this video. I figured a video was a great way for you to get to know me on a personal level in case you don't know me. I like to start off by telling you a little bit about my background. I hold a degree in finance from Cal State Northridge. I am also CDPE certified, which stands for Certified Distressed Property Expert, which basically means that I understand what's going on in the market. I know the foreclosures, I know short sales, I understand loan modifications, I understand bankruptcies, I understand exactly what you're going through. I also offer aggressive marketing, great negotiation skills, and great communication skills. If you have absolutely any questions about anything that I've said, you can reach me via email, cell phone, text, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and they're all listed below. So thank you and have a great day.
So I don't know if you guys can tell, but in that video, I was like, I'm a foreclosure specialist, and I didn't even believe it at that time because my head is going like this. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but my head was going no, like I was saying the right words, but the reality was that I didn't know what I was doing. The other thing is that would have been good if that was the first take, but that was probably like take number 20 or 30. So that was actually the cleaned up version of all of the other videos that I did. So this is kind of when my career started to change. I ended up meeting a gentleman by the name of Vicente Arzate, and he was actually my first mentor. He approached me when I was at like the first month in sales, and he told me, "Hey, dude, I'll charge you 50% of your commissions, and I'll mentor you." And at that time, I was like, 50%? You're crazy. Like, I'm not going to pay you 50%. But then 6 months later, I hadn't sold the home. He came back to me, and he said, "Hey, look, that offer still stands, you know?" And at that time, I was like, 50% of nothing is nothing, you know? 50% of something is something. So he kind of took me under his wing, and he taught me just a lot of different things about real estate. And I'm grateful, dude. Thank you. So that's kind of when I started learning about proximity was power. I started learning about this power of mentorship and this power of like seeking out people that have already done what you wanted to do. And instead of like trying to like reinvent the wheel, just kind of following the roadmap that they've already set for us, like almost like just humbling ourselves and really letting go of our ego. Because when he approached me the first time, I thought I had things figured out. I was like, I don't need you. I don't need you to help me. I'm Jose Luis Morales, you know, like I don't need you to tell me what to do. I don't need that. And I started basically like grasping this concept of like just getting proximity to people. And that's kind of when I started going on this quest, and I started meeting different people. So this was like one of the very first people I met. His name is Angel Garcia. He's going to be leading the questions. And Angel was actually the master of this. So Angel, what was interesting about Angel understood this concept of proximity was power. I just happened to tag along with it. He would basically reach out to top agents like Michael Young. We shadowed him for probates, took a trip. He set it all up. All they had to do was pay 50% of the cost. But he basically set it all up. We went, shadowed the guy, just multiple people across the country, and he kind of taught me that. And even now, like I look at the way that he operates his life, he's opening up like a different business now, hired the best coach to help him do that. So Angel is someone that understands that, and Angel is somebody that kind of taught me that, like basically proximity is power. So what my purpose in today is I wanted to bring along some of the people that have helped me along the way in hopes that they have a similar impact in your guys' life, basically. And just for you guys to kind of get to know them. So this is Lindsay Horn, and there's Angel actually in this picture. He's the little shorter one if you see on the left-hand side. So he's there. Actually, Eric Delgado's in this picture, and there's a bunch of people. So Lindsay was the first person that I ever met that actually made a lot more money than me. That was my age. So she was making over $1 million a year at the time when I met her. And she owned a bunch of rental properties. And for me, it kind of served as motivation. I think I had 2 at the time. She had 5. I was like, I'm going to catch up to you. When I got to 5, she was at 8. And then when I got to 8, it was just almost like just inspiration, and somebody that obviously has inspired me at a time where I didn't know if it was possible to make that amount of money. And it was good to see somebody my age really succeeding. And then she's always been super awesome. She went bowling last night with us. So this is Jim Sandoval. So Jim Sandoval was the first person that ever allowed me to personally shadow him. It was a crazy experience for me. I went out, my coach at the time told me, hey, you got to go watch this guy named Jim Sandoval. He's in the San Fernando Valley, does all kinds of business. And I was like, all right, sure. I go over there, show up like at 7:30. He's prospecting on the phones, sets a couple of appointments, takes me on a listing presentation, takes a listing, brings it back to his administrative staff, goes back to the phones, prospects, sets more appointments, and then calls it a day. And I was like, man, like that to me made it real. Like the fact that I was able to see that in person made it like this is actually doable. It's not that complicated. It's attainable. And it was awesome, bro. I remember I went prospecting on a Sunday one time with him. I wanted to leave home, and he was like, no, you're not leaving home until you set one more appointment. And then, so for me, it was bringing that LA mentality because it's extremely competitive, bringing that mentality out to Ventura County. So I'm grateful for that, Jim. We got Eric Delgado, who's not in the room. So Eric doesn't know this, but he kind of inspired me to improve my skills because there was a time where Jim Sandoval and Eric Delgado were beating me out on every listing presentation. And they were obviously more seasoned than I was, and there was a learning curve that I had to do. So they inspired me to better my skills and actually improve that to what you're going to see here today, which is a more polished one. They're a little lucky that we don't compete. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, this is Aaron Novello, my mentor. After Vicente, I seeked out Aaron. He was doing 150 deals at the time, got to 200. He was by far the most efficient agent that I had ever met in my life. Not only that, the most polished. He's been by far the biggest influence in my real estate career, and you'll be hearing from him a little bit later. And then there's this gentleman. His name is Neil Weikel, 4,000 plus homes sold. So Neil doesn't know this, but he served as a mentor to me indirectly. So this mentorship thing goes in different levels. Like, for example, you guys probably don't know this, but Neil was Aaron's mentor. Aaron mentored me. Now I'm mentoring other people. So indirectly, I would hear some of the conversations that Neil would give to Aaron, and then I would pass on to other people. I'll give you guys an example. Like, Aaron's made like $100,000 in a month or sold 100 homes halfway through the year, and Neil asked him, he said, is that good? One time Neil told him, like, hey, I just made $200,000 in a month. He's like, Aaron, I don't want to bust your bubble, but if I only made $200,000 in a month, that is not a good month. That is not a good month. And he didn't say it in a way where he was talking down to him. It was in a way like, hey, let's step it up. Sean San Jose came to us recently, and he was like, hey, I just had my best month ever. I'm like, how much you make? Tells us the number. I'm like, hey, bro, if I only made that much in a month, bro, that would be a very horrible month. So that level of mentorship kind of goes on and goes on. So just something to be aware of. There's no reason to try to reduplicate the wheel. There's already people that are already doing exactly what you want to do. It's just a matter of humbling ourselves, letting go of the ego, knowing that there's things that we don't know, and learning from those individuals and just getting proximity to those individuals. So that's the message that I wanted to give. If I did it, anybody could do it. Like, I wasn't a natural. I'm not a natural born salesperson. Si se puede, you can do it.